A few weeks ago I got a super good deal on some butternut squashes. So we've been using them in recipes ever since. Yes. They have survived on our countertop for weeks. This week we whipped up this super simple creamy butternut squash soup. The flavors in this soup are simple yet warm. And the soup is a breeze to prepare, which makes it a total win in my book. This butternut squash soup is definitely going to become a new fall staple for me. What's in butternut squash soup? I love this soup for its simplicity. It starts with butternut squash and onions that have been roasted to intensify the flavors and add a slightly caramelized sweetness. The roasted vegetables are then blended with chicken broth until it's thick and smooth, seasoned with nutmeg and sage, and heated through. For an extra luxurious finish, we stir in a half cup of heavy cream at the end. It's simple, but so chef's kiss perfect. What else can I add? I think this butternut squash is perfect in its simplicity. But if you want to take it in another direction, there are so many options. Try some of these variations to make it your own. Add a pinch or two of cayenne pepper to make it spicy. Add a tablespoon or two of curry powder for a different flavor profile. Make it vegetarian by using vegetable broth in place of chicken broth. Make it vegan by using vegetable broth and full-fat coconut milk instead of heavy cream. Roast apple slices with the butternut squash and onions for a slightly sweeter soup. Skip the cream for a lighter yet still very flavorful soup. What to serve with butternut squash soup? This soup is begging for some hearty bread for dipping. Or you can top off your bowl with a handful of homemade croutons. This soup would also pair nicely with something like our oven-roasted autumn medley or autumn kale and apple salad. Print. Butternut squash soup. Butternut squash soup is a warm and creamy soup made with roasted butternut squash, rich cream, and cozy herbs like sage and nutmeg. Course dinner. Lunch. Soup cuisine. American total cost $3.72. Recipe $0. 93 serving. Prep time 15 minutes. Cook time 40 minutes. Total time 55 minutes. Servings 4 1.25 cups each. Calories 287 kilocalories. Author Beth. Budget Bites. Ingredients 2 pounds. Butternut squash 4 cups cubed $1.78. 1 yellow onion $0. 37 2 tablespoons olive oil $0. 32 1/4 teaspoons salt $0. 02 1/4 teaspoon pepper $0. 02 3 cups chicken broth $0. 36 1/8 teaspoons nutmeg $0. 02 1/4 teaspoon rubbed sage $0. 02 1/2 cup heavy cream $0. Instructions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Peel and dice the butternut squash. Cut the onions into wedges. Place the squash and onions on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Drizzle with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Toss until the vegetables are well coated in oil. Roast the vegetables in the oven for about 30 minutes. Stirring after about 20 minutes of roasting. After roasting for 30 minutes, the squash should be tender and slightly browned on the edges. Transfer the roasted vegetables to a blender and add the chicken broth. Puree the vegetables and broth until smooth. Pour the pureed soup to a pot and add the nutmeg and sage. Heat the soup over medium, stirring occasionally, until heated through. Stir the heavy cream into the soup. Then taste and adjust the salt or other seasonings to your liking. Serve hot. See how we calculate recipe costs here. Notes: need help peeling and dicing butternut squash. See our tutorial on how to cut butternut squash. The overall flavor and quality of this soup will depend a lot on the flavor and quality of the broth used. We use broth made with better than bouillon. Nutrition serving: 1. 25 cups, calories, 287 kilocalories, carbohydrates, 31 grams, protein, 5 grams, fat, 18 grams. Sodium, 818 milligrams, fiber, 5 grams. How to make butternut squash soup. Step-by-step photos. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Peel and dice about 2 pounds of butternut squash into 1/2 inch cubes, about 4 cups diced. Slice 1 yellow onion. Place the squash and onion on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Drizzle with 2 tablespoons olive oil. And sprinkle with 1/4 teaspoon pepper and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Toss to coat. Roast the squash and onions in the preheated oven for 30 minutes. Stirring once after 20 minutes. The squash should be tender and slightly browned after 30 minutes of roasting. If not, add more time. Add the roasted butternut squash and onions to a blender along with 3 cups of chicken broth. Puree the vegetables and broth until smooth. Transfer the soup to a pot and add 1/8 teaspoon nutmeg and 1/4 teaspoon rubbed sage. Stir to combine. Place the pot over medium heat and cook the soup, stirring occasionally, until heated through, 5 to 10 minutes. Stir 1/2 cup heavy cream into the soup. Taste the soup and adjust the salt or other seasonings to your liking. Serve the soup hot and garnish with an extra drizzle of cream and freshly cracked pepper, if desired. So creamy. More butternut squash recipes. Butternut squash curry, butternut squash salad. How to cut butternut squash. The post-butternut squash soup appeared first on Budget Bites.